Are getting into game. Welcome back, everyone, to Blossoming Colosseum. First ever. Right now, Mad Hatters versus Praetorians. Mad Hatters went up against the Centurions up in the winners bracket final. Centurions won 5-2, and so now they have been knocked down. And in order to get their rematch, they must beat the Praetorians in this best of one. Mad Hatters over under the red banner. First up for them, they have the Queen of Crows, a goldfish being piloted by Rhythm Rogue. Watcher on the front with Gatling on the port side, Carronade on the starboard. They're also bringing the Carrot Face Roll once again. A Pyramidian being piloted by Princess Tutu. Artemis and Carronade on the front with Flamethrower and Flare on the port.
And on the red team, the blue team, the Praetorians, we have the RAS Panda Express. It is a Carronade Gatling Pyramidian with left side Banshee and flare gun.
I was wondering when that was going to make an appearance.
And their ally, the RAS Mars. We saw this last match, although a little bit different now, piloted by Jub Jub. It is a Galleon with a Hades Lumberjack and Hwacha left side. Right side double heavy carronade with a rear flare gun.
Yeah. No Minotaurs, I'd like to point out.
I think we all know there will never be any Minotaurs for Oracle. At least not until they buff it. It's a little on the weak side.
Cool weapon though.
Certainly. So while we were waiting in between this match and the previous, I just understood the Carrot's name. It took me this long. I've seen it played, this build run so many times. I just now figured out what carrot means.
Really? So it took you that long? I was
Carronade
there.
Artemis.
Caro Art.
Caro
Art. Carrot. Yeah.
Just now.
I was there when Dan christened it.
Oh well, now
that was Dan that came up with the name. He was very proud of himself.
We can never use that term ever again.
He was very proud of that. Airface and Queen of Crows. Just sniping out with that one Artemis a little bit, but the Panda Express is moving into position. And it's going to come up. Trying to go in on the Queen of Crows, but it has a buffed main engine. It's going to be tough to actually stay in front of it. But the Gatling's going down. Watcher goes out as well. Little bit of permahull damage. And that's actually a lot of permahull damage. Down to 1/3. Carrot Face Roll coming in to try and lock down the Panda Express, but the Mars is being given a nice big open port side on the Queen of Crows. In the meantime, Carrot Face Roll and Panda Express going at it. Panda Express stopping any sort of aggression from the Carrot Face Roll with that Gatling. In the meantime, Mars does what it does best. Brings down ships. Carrot Face Roll not looking so good. Gets the bump. The help from the Mars.
This team composition for red team, they just don't have any killing power.
No, they don't.
Like typically you see the Carrot Face Roll or the Carrot, the Gatling, the Artemis Carronade build. It's paired with something that has a little more damage output, but the Hwacha fish, like the Hwacha can do a reasonable amount of damage, but it's gonna have difficulty getting kills on its own, and if you use the shot for disable, you're not gonna have the shot for kill. So they just don't have red team does not have enough damage.
Colosseum has a good name for the Gat Caro, the Holy Midian. It was Holy Roman Army that used it first. Or it was, Holy Roman Army way back in the, Hephaestus.
They see whole armor, they must destroy whole armor.
Flares go out. Trying to spot the Queen of Crows and the Carrot.
I mean, it seemed like they had the Panda Express exactly where they wanted to. They're a little bit separated from the Mars. Both the red ships were firing on it, but like, look at it. They did no damage. What?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if they can really expect better engagement than that. But
no,
I suppose they'll have to try.
They definitely could have gotten a better engagement, but you're absolutely right in saying that it's impossible for this pair of ships to actually penetrate armor at all. Like, both of these ships are usually support for another ship. But in this case, it's just too much disable. There isn't a well, there's a Gatling, I think, on the Queen of Crows. But when you're running a Watchafish, the Gatling is a sometimes food. It's like, if you get in a really good position and you want to try your hand at stripping the armor and then breaking the hull of the Hwacha, then you can try it. But
I think what the Mad Hatters are going for is they want to kill the Panda Express. They feel like even with their lack of damage output, they'll still be able, if they have proper focus fire, still be able to kill the Blue Pyramidion. Once the Blue Pyramidion is down, then, you know, their disables will totally lock down the Mars and they can clean up Blue Team, but I don't know.
yeah,
They were having difficulty taking down the Panda Express to begin with.
well, if they focus on the Panda Express too hard, then the Mars is just going to get all of its DPS out. And you can't ignore a Galleon for that long, or you die, like what happened in the last engagement. They ignored the Mars, and the Mars had its way. That's basically been the story of the Mars this tournament, is people ignore the Mars, Mars kills things.
But at least if they would have... I mean, I feel like even if the Mars gets a kill on something, if they manage to take out the Panda Express, that means they probably have a guaranteed kill on the Mars, leading in their favor, but this is not the way to do it.
No, Carapace Roll is entirely alone. And the Panda Express actually gets credit for that one.
So if Red Team can manage to trade one of their ships for Panda Express, that lets the other disabler go to town on the Mars, is what I was saying. Although now that they're down 3 points, that's no longer even an option for them.
Yeah, it's this Galleon, man. You can't ignore it. But the Gat Caro Pyramidion is also a huge threat in its own right. And you look on the other side, neither of these ships are really that much of a threat. I admit I'm biased. I'm not a big fan of the Watchafish. I think that there are always better options. But
I
people believe in it.
definitely agree.
Okay, I'm not alone in that. I've never seen a Watchafish do really well. It's always either somehow getting in there in a clutch moment and giving that one Hwacha barrage that lets its ally do all the work, or it is underwhelming.
It's one of those ship builds that it's so, like, the corner case for it to be effective is so small. There's so many things that can go wrong. Like, if you miss the shot, it's a 14-second reload. It's a heavy weapon.
We go, though.
If it gets disabled, it takes a long... But see, look, they got a full Hwacha barrage into the Mars, and, like, sure, they took down guns, but... like, they're not going to get a kill anytime soon.
Yeah, in the meantime, Carrot Face Roll and Panda Express going at it. Panda Express gets the ram on the Carrot. Bops him out a little bit. It's going to be really hard for the Panda Express to actually kill the Carrot, and vice versa. This is basically a slap fight right now.
Well, I think a lot of it's going to come down to, I mean, the carronade shots, which balloon goes down first, and also who gets the rams. Rams are going to play a huge factor in securing the kills on one of these Pyramidions.
Queen of Crows thinking of coming in, but now realizes the Mars is behind it. Turns hard. Hwacha disables the Gatling gun. They do get it. Return Hwacha barrage does a lot more work on the Mars. Brings down all the guns. It's going to take a minute for him to get back up. The Queen of Crows is going to stick on this Galleon. They're turning the Gatling into arc. They recognize that they want to get the kill, and they want to get it quick, but the Hwacha reloads faster, and they load it in again. One engine down, 2 engines damaged, and all guns, except for one, the flare on the back, are down.
And
it's a disable fest.
Panda Express at the same time seemed to be getting the better of Carrot Face Roll. Carrot actually popping a little bit of Hydro, granting them a moment's reprise. Like, the Panda Express, oh, there goes the ram.
Yeah, little bump. Gonna do a fair bit of permahull damage. A lot of that came from the Carronade and Gatling, though. This is really how it's gonna be. The Queen of Crows is gonna take a long time to bring down the Mars. They did get some permahull damage on it, but nothing to really write home about. And now the Panda Express is going to kill the Carrot Face Roll eventually. It's just going to take time.
Well, If the carrot face roll, if they can manage to get their Artemis up and disable the front guns, then maybe. But the problem is they're so low that just any impact from the Panda Express will mean an instant death if the whole armor is down. So they're desperately moonshining, trying to reverse. And yeah, I think you are right now, especially with their balloon going out.
Can the Gatling bring down the armor of the carrot face roll? Gatling's damaged and the ram gets it. Chalk one up for the ram cam.
The Queen of Crows has had complete free reign on the Mars this entire time, and he's got nothing done. Like, the Panda Express now is going to come back in. Queen of Crows needs to retreat, and this is the problem with the Watch-A-Fish. It just...
Yeah.
That was an optimal engagement for that ship, and just... You can't do damage.
Look how much damage it did after all that time.
I guess
that little chunk.
About 15%. Not much.
Yeah. Not even a problem. The Panda Express is even going to chase. Queen of Crows turns around, gets the watch out, but it disables the front guns. They're going to be able to get him up pretty quick, though. They've got a pretty vulnerable angle on him, and the carrot face roll is going to go on the Panda Express as well, but this is exactly like the first engagement. They're going for the Panda Express. They're ignoring the Mars. Now the Queen of Crows is going in on the Mars, getting watch out. How much are they able to disable? A fair bit. Both Hellhounds on the other side down. They bring down... No, the watch is still up.
Oh, and carrot face roll bumping off the mountain and actually losing 80% of their promo hull in one impact. And yeah, they're not able to hold their own against the Panda Express in any of these engagements, any of these fights.
No, they're really not. There we go. Armor's back up. Carrot face roll is a little bit safer now. The Queen of Crows still unable to do anything to the Mars.
Carrot face roll, they do have the high ground on Panda Express, but like they're just... It seems like they're unable to keep their guns up. The Gatling's continually taking down the Artemis, continually taking down the light carronade. They're never able to get the return disable onto Panda Express. Letting Panda Express do whatever it wants. And yeah, very strong game from the Praetorians. Questionable build from Red Team, but you know, they made it to losers finals. That's pretty good.
Yeah, Mad Hatters getting knocked out at the very end. Now the Praetorians get the rematch with the Centurions.